Welcome, people, to another episode of the ReEVOlution broadcast. It is I, Chris Rice, aka Rice Crypto, joined by Philip Massey, the Modern Guru.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, homeboy? How you doing?
Living, man. Living the dream every day. Just kind of perplexing everything that's been going on with the crypto markets recently. It's kind of just like up and down, mini little roller coaster ride. Nothing crazy, but we're not really. There's been no real telltale signs of which way we're going this year to this point.
Yeah, it's definitely not taken off in regards to the way that I thought it was, or that we talked about and stuff.
Me either.
I thought we would have seen some action. I thought we would have at least seen Cliff High's WebBot prediction from a year and a half ago. I thought we were going to see that come true at 13,888. But obviously, we are now into March, and it is still struggling. So
I had hoped he would be right.
I mean, you can't be perfect in those things. He's made a lot of great calls.
Yeah, I mean, like what this should tell everyone, though, that's watching our show or watching other YouTubers, we've kind of touched on this in the past, is nobody knows whether it's web spiders, web bots. Nobody has crystal balls. We all have gut feelings. We can read charts. You can draw dinosaurs, pretend like you're a genius. The bottom line is nobody knows. You can just kind of follow trends and patterns and hope that it works out.
Right.
What this kind of has told me, which we talked about earlier, my man, is, there's a lot, like most of the general population's money is tapped out. They can do check to check. They can put a little bit in here or there. But it's the billionaires, at least to me, this is what I see. The billionaires are really driving the markets now. So it's what they want to do. And if they want to pump these coins and they want to pump Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoins, our asses will follow. That's what we'll see happen. But what I'm watching right now, it doesn't scare me. I don't want to use that word because that wouldn't be right. But it does give me I'm just perplexed right now because I'm not seeing a pattern other than short little pumps and then taking profits. Not like years past where you could, where Bitcoin would, alligator teeth straight up, go parabolic, then, you'd have your pullbacks, you'd have your market corrections. Not a lot of time has passed so far since we had the big crash. So that's, something to also consider. But like right now, I personally thought we would be moving right now upwards and we'd be seeing more of a pump coming from all different aspects. But it's just not happening for whatever reason, but I believe it's the billionaire classes that are just kind of on the sidelines right now. And there's just small little killer whales. They're not hunting in packs. They're just going solo and pumping whatever they like at that point in time. And you're seeing that. You're seeing that in the price figures in US dollars. So,
yeah, no, I agree. And plus, I mean, we're in completely unknown territories when it comes to where we're at with the cryptocurrency space. I mean, this is unlike anything that we've experienced before, any type of investments, any type of charting. So, I mean, we can look at patterns and look at the past and try to learn from that. But like you said, we talked about traders and people who analyze that we've checked out over the past week, and they've come off, where their predictions weren't correct and their analyzations were off. So, I mean, even people who are very technical and who have had success in the past can't always predict what's going to happen. So, it's like you said, it's just, that's why, if you don't understand the trading game, that we suggest that you just hold your coins, that you hodl those coins, because otherwise
add to what you said,
not going to know.
With TAs, like you were just talking about, the ones that have had success in the past, they could watch these things and they could really make decent trades and make a lot of profit. But what you're seeing right now is these guys are being wrong too, because they really have no idea which way it's going. And to capitalize on what you said, people that are just getting in here, if you start day trading, you're going to get smoked because you have no idea what you're doing. Trust me on that. I got
smoked when I first started.
So just be careful. Be careful what you're doing. You're not going to become a day trader in a couple weeks because you bought one crypto and all of a sudden you caught it on a green candle and you made a little bit of money. You will get destroyed. Just be smart.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I mean, it's hard to learn when is the right time to buy and the right time to sell. Because when you might think it's the right time to sell, it might continue to go up in price and you may not be able to repurchase it in at a price that you're already at. So, you know, that's an option that people need to think about. But
yeah, and this is a period where you want to take profits on things. Like right now, if LiteCoin was to pump back up to 230, 240, 250 for whatever reason, the killer whales decided they wanted to hit LiteCoin that day, I would take profits at that level because right now you're not seeing any kind of sustained growth upwards. You're just seeing stuff that's just basically consolidating sideways or doing little pumps and then,
right. I mean, we're still overall down since December overall with everything.
Oh yeah, we're still at a market cap of what? I think it's like 450 right now, or a little bit less, 438. So we're
somewhere
down.
around there.
We're down for sure.
And it's crazy to think about how, you know, like we've spoken about before, and you know, we don't have to go into it too much, but the fact that it doesn't take a lot to move this market up and down.
Yeah,
you know,
when you have billions, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. And
so
those are the people, and it's not even, it's not even just them, but they can really do some serious movement. Whereas guys like you and I and just smaller investors or me investors, we put all our money in these markets. That's what got these markets to where they're at currently, or well, even before currently, previously. But the guys that really make markets and move them are the billionaire class. It is not us Joe Blow investor guys. So you really be paying attention to what they're doing as opposed to what some guy on YouTube who has, $100,000 invested in crypto, because they're not the ones that move these markets. So,
right. You remember that dude I was telling you about, the Morgan Raccoons guy?
Yeah, the guy from Nevada, right?
Yeah, that got the arrest for selling to an undercover cop. Well, we haven't been able to schedule an interview yet, but we're still working on that. But I do stay in contact with him, and he had his arraignment today. And what he says is that he's free on a bond, and he signed $35,000 for that. And then he said that the case will now go to an evidence hearing. And then if they can, they'll get it thrown out. If not, then it'll probably go to trial in about a year. So I'm still trying to figure out, because the way that we had talked about the interview was he could talk about very limited information regarding the case. And then we were going to talk more about him and his past and the things he's doing, like as the CEO of Bitcoin Incorporated and some of his tech inventions and stuff that he's done. But I'm still trying to figure out if now he can go into a little bit more information. I don't know if he can, since the case is still technically open and pending and could go to trial. So
Did you get access to his phone so you can get some money?
I don't know if he got his phone, but he said that he was able to raise enough money or borrow enough money from people through the space. Basically, he said Tone Vase, when he was on the Tone Vase, his interview about 2 weeks ago or so, that brought enough attention to his situation that the right people were able to get in contact with him and help him out. So,
well, that's good.
I don't know that he's gotten his phone back personally. I would think he's still if he hasn't, he's working on it. But either way, he's, people know he's good for the funds, because I've been looking into him a little bit more. He's been involved in the cryptocurrency space and Bitcoin for quite a while, and he's done quite some interesting things in the space. And it sounds like he's up to some even more interesting things. So I'm looking forward to finding out more about this guy. He seems like some kind of mad genius and he looks at things, like I was saying, more on the terms of long term, like how this is going to affect generations ahead, like those people, which I think is awesome. So the other thing, you had mentioned something about Charlie Lee, because we're both huge LiteCoin fans. You said Charlie Lee was recently interviewed by Doug Polk?
Yeah, he was on Doug Polk. I believe it was yesterday. Doug Polk's got 2 YouTube channels. So he's got one that's like Doug Polk Poker, and then he's got one that's Doug Polk Podcast or Crypto, something like that. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, he interviewed Charlie Lee. It wasn't like a hard-hitting technical interview. There were some technical questions that were asked when Doug allowed some of his audience members to ask the questions, or he had them like send in questions that he then asked Charlie in the interview. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a hard hitting technical thing, but it was more so like just an just kind of candy coating Charlie's whole existence when he started LiteCoin back in 2011, all the way through like into December last year when he sold all his actual coins in LiteCoin. He just it was all over the place, but it was still a pretty good interview. I highly suggest that anyone that's watching should go and go over to his channel and take a look.
Was there any kind of new information or anything that?
No, see, that's
out of the ordinary.
Yeah, that's the one downer about the video is like they didn't really ask him what are you working on currently to really move LiteCoin other than kind of like just small stuff. So
yeah, I would have drilled about those 3 other things on that list that haven't been checked off yet.
Yeah, I want to know what that unexpected surprise was.
I think he's in that situation he's probably going to be saving the best for last. But
yeah, I hope so. But LitePay wasn't exactly a success.
They're still working on the processing thing. I don't know if you got your update, but I got my email update. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it. All that really is important is that merchants are accepting of it. The big hubbub was what Visa did. And also to kind of tie this together, Coinbase and all these banks, I don't know if you're familiar that there's all these double charges going on.
With Coinbase, I actually had that. It come up as like some kind of international charges on my end, like a second.
Yeah, it actually affected my brother. They did it twice to him. And so my brother wasted a lot of time with customer support on the phone with Coinbase, a ton of time customer support with his bank. And the whole time, this thing was caused because of Visa. This was not Coinbase. It was not the person's individual banks. It was Visa. So if you were using a Visa card to purchase crypto on Coinbase, your double charges was a flaw in the system. Or as some would say, like my brother, he thinks that Visa is trying to sabotage things. I think that this kind of, I didn't really think there was a conspiracy there at first with the LitePay thing, but we had talked about it. I think we talked about it in our last video in regards to, why would Visa even sign up for LitePay and then stick with them that whole time? And then,
like I told you, I think they were setting them up, so they knew that it was
before the launch. They just pull everything.
Yeah, because look what it did to LiteCoin. LiteCoin was getting ready to start making some really heavy movement.
It's possible. I mean, in theory, you would think it would go up. Who knows with crypto?
It was starting to go that direction.
Yeah. That I agree with.
We were getting up to 230.
But you are starting to see different entities try to sabotage crypto, whether it's through FUD with their media outlets, which we saw all throughout January and at the end of December.
Well, you know what, dude? Somebody, whether it's, and I believe that LitePay is going to be successful.
I do too, but it's going to
be. You're going to see a lot of other companies starting to do stuff like this. And one thing, since we mentioned it, there's not really anything very specific, but PayPal is filing for patents that regard cryptocurrency merchant services. So I don't know exactly what that's going to be, if that's going to be good or if that's going to be bad, because if they get a patent,
Venmo's doing the same thing.
So, it could be successful and it could be good for the space. I think that we have, the more options we have.
Well, the creator of PayPal loves crypto. So, he wants to do his own crypto. So
right.
There's all kinds of stuff that goes into it, but I know from what I've seen from Visa in the last, 3 weeks or so, is not very inspiring to me to ever want to do business with them ever again. I actually would want to ask my bank to give me a MasterCard debit card.
Right.
I support, me leaving Visa is not going to, it's nothing.
No, not you as an individual, but if we could, but
me coming on here And
we can encourage other people.
yeah, I mean, like what they've done has not been good. They've been trying to hurt people in the space. I'm starting to believe that this was done on purpose. They're really trying to sabotage shit, and that really pisses me off.
Well, dude, like a lot of these big financial institutions, I'm not sure like when these quarters begin, like when the years begin or when they're required to do this, but it seems like several different financial institutions have released their what they have to do annually to their investors to inform them. This is a legal obligation where they have to inform their investors of the competition and what they're not investing in and all that. And that's when you had JP Morgan come out and say that cryptocurrency is a threat and creates a risk to that sort of business. And if JP Morgan is going to be coming out saying something like that, even though they're forced to, and other companies are releasing this information, then you know for a fact that Visa, which is smaller than those companies, because I would think there's more money going through JP Morgan than Visa.
I don't know for sure. It just depends. I don't have their financials in front. I know JP Morgan does a hell of a lot of business, but their position right now, I mean, if they didn't have their sweet deal with the Fed where the Fed would just shovel them fiat money at no interest to keep the silver market smashed down in its short position on silver, that's JP Morgan's the only one that got the contract from the Fed to keep silver smashed, the price of it.
The whole system is corrupt, dude.
Yeah, the whole system's corrupt. But I mean, like going back to what you were saying, like with JP Morgan and Visa, like, you know,
they're scared.
They're scared. But, you know,
what happens to an animal that knows it's going to die, that's being attacked and knows it's going to die?
Yeah, you're seeing pushback in all kinds of different avenues, whether it's, you know, trying to sabotage certain things like we may have just seen, or you see them spreading FUD in the form of, you know, they have little trolls out there right now saying, okay, well, Bank of America is going to start a token. JP Morgan's going to start a token. Goldman Sachs is going to start a token. Okay, fine. But who the fuck is going to want to buy their token?
I mean, there's going to be a crowd that supports those people, but the people who are really supportive of cryptocurrency, they're for decentralized currencies that are for freedom, are not going to participate in supporting those systems.
You could look at XRP right now and say, well, look, XRP, there's tons of people that are invested in Ripple right now. Yeah, that's true because people know they can pump Ripple and make profits from it and make a lot of money. If they're you got JP Morgan coin, you got Bank of America coin, you got Amazon coin, you've got all these centralized coins. Okay, fine. Some of them may be successful for what they're going to do, but the mass majority of them are going to be horse shit and no one's going to buy them because they're garbage. Like a lot of these decentralized cryptos are. You know, I am not one of those people that's like all in love with everything in the cryptosphere. 90% and 95% of the cryptocurrencies, decentralized or centralized, are horse shit. Most of this market, we've talked about this in the past. I know me and you were talking about it on text earlier, but most of this market is all speculation right now. This is something that people don't understand. It's mass speculation. People are speculating, trying to make money, and also investing in future technologies that they think are going to be monsters moving forward. But we're not adopted yet. This is the process. We are still in the process, and that crash that just happened slowed that adoption process down, which is why I think we're going sideways, and we're going to continue to go sideways for a while until kind of things just work themselves out and people establish faith and trust again and everything, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We can go down the line and talk about that forever.
Right.
Well, most of these cryptos are horse shit. They really are. They're horse shit. They're pumps right now. You got to find the ones that are going to be future monster technologies or businesses that are being developed. And they're few and far between, but you got to find the good ones and invest in those.
Well, since you brought that up, man, I guess we can make this one of our last topics. But since the markets are down, you know, a lot of people who are supportive of the space and believe in cryptocurrencies are taking their time and investing into other coins they hadn't invested in so they can get in at good lower prices, because the point is to buy low, sell high. So me and you talked about some coins that we just been recently buying into. Do you want to share a couple of those coins and like?
Yeah, I like. Are you talking about like at a certain price point, or are you talking
I
about
mean,
in general?
just anything. I mean, like, is there anything new? Because I know you're heavy in Litecoin. You like OMG and different coins. Is there something new that you've gotten involved in that you're
Um,
starting to believe in the technology and the development team and
I like
all
what
that good
Pillar's
stuff?
doing. When their wallet comes out this summer, I watched the demo videos on it. They're if they can get that thing up and going and without any serious tech issues, that thing is going to be a monster.
Yeah, it seems really
It's just my
incredible.
opinion. Just my opinion. Make sure we put that out there. I have no idea what's going to.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. Let's put that disclaimer that we are not financial advisors, and this is not
Absolutely not.
financial advice. This is for education purposes only. We are just sharing this information for you. So you can choose to
Yeah,
do with this
Pillar.
information what you want, but we just share what we're doing with our investments and why.
Yeah, I like Pillar, and I also like Salt Lending. I think Salt Lending is, Bixie's. I think Bixie's right about this one. Underneath $5 right now. They are. I belong to their. Or I subscribe to their. All their email updates. I belong on the website. I'm still waiting in line and actually to be able to
Do a loan.
borrow on what I have invested in crypto right now. There's a huge waiting list.
I mean, I've heard that they have a little bit high of interest, but that obviously will work its way out. There's a waiting list for the
Yeah, but
people
you
who
got
may
to
get the
think about
loan.
this for a second. If they're valuing their salt token at 27.50, which is what they came
Oh
out.
yeah, you're getting 5 times the value.
Yeah, so you
With
can't
that.
pay it all off at once, obviously, or why would they do this? They'd be losing money. They're trying to make money too, like everyone else. But at that rate, that would be a great token to have when everything starts picking back up again and Bitcoin starts launching, when the billionaire crowd decides to go run with it, because it'll drive that price up. People will want that token. You'll be able to borrow on it and use the funds that they give you to ride the huge run up and everything else. And all the money that you'll be making on other cryptos that you're riding will far surpass what you want to pay in interest. I would
Okay.
not take a loan on Salt right now when things are consolidating and there's been corrections, because I think the interest would actually be higher than what you're able to make outside of it, unless you're a phenomenal trader, which I am not, nor have I ever
Right.
intended to be. Um, so, that it's a token that I have on my watch list, and I will continue to watch it and adjust my portfolio as time goes on with what other stimuli are going outside, in the markets at that time. So,
Yeah, and I agree with you about the Pillar thing. Pillar project looks awesome. The wallet seems really cool, especially how you can buy the crypto through the wallet itself. I think it's going to be an amazing accomplishment if they're able to get that out. And AGI, which is the artificial general intelligence coin that is in conjunction with the robotics company that created Sophia, and she's also the chief humanoid on the tech team. I bought into that. I was looking into that when the ICO was going on. That probably would have been the first ICO I would have bought into, but I wasn't able to purchase as a non-US resident unless I had the right accredited investing, whatever. I don't even know, but it was beyond what I had. So I took advantage of the opportunity and bought in recently because also I've spoken about Nexus. I believe in Nexus, and with AGI, they're working together on a couple projects with which I think is amazing. Like I want to do a video about Nexus and probably interview their CEO. But the idea that they're trying to create a 3D anti-quantum resistant blockchain that wouldn't be able to be cracked if quantum computers came out, because that's the question. If quantum computers come out, would they be able to decrypt the encryption in the cryptocurrency? And the Nexus is working to work towards that. Plus, they're installing satellites into space, and artificial intelligence is going to be a big part of our future. And I think that AGI has a little bit of, it's going to have a little bit of dominance in that AI market, from what I can tell so far. And so that's one of the coins that I've been investing into as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think AI is going to have a huge role in certain arenas, but like those people that say that like they're going to take over the world and
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but they're gonna.
Terminator movies, like I just want to make sure that people don't think that that's what we think. So, but
But
those
I
are,
mean, now at the same time, just like you said about the charts and stuff like that, and the price of Bitcoin. I mean, anything technically is possible. I mean, when you think about the technology,
all things
but
in life
the
are
technology, if you put the brain unit of Sophia on a blockchain, in theory, she would be loose on the internet and have access to every single computer connected to that network. She could utilize its power sources. I mean, it could go down in the wrong direction. So I don't want people to think that it's not a possibility. I'm not trying to scare people either, but you gotta.
like all things are possible, but there's going to be someone that's trying to develop something that would fight that. And
Right, and I think that that's ultimately how they're going to try to program things. But you
uh,
know, but I still believe in the idea.
like I watched, this is just my take on it, but I like watched some videos where these corporations had built these robots that you can literally have a conversation with, but it can only have a conversation with you if you hit certain key points. Like they still have to program these things. These things aren't thinking. This is what people are. They're not thinking on their own. They're running scripts.
Right.
So like it's not real intelligence. It's
Well,
artificial.
the
So,
AGI, which is what Sophia is, are programmed to learn from their experiences, to increase their database by hearing new languages, by taking in new information. So, in that sense, they are programmed to learn. And and when you get something that's superior, when they create different AI situations to play games in different test situations, even as they do AIs against AIs, when they improve them and they program them to learn, they become more sophisticated and they can technically grow into something different than what they were intended to do, based off of the fact that they just are programmed to learn. So they're taking out information. They're not being filtered what information they're taking in. So you can't limit what they're learning and how they're learning.
yeah, but how do they applicate it? So like
I mean,
that's what Cliff was talking about. Why AI will never be what these guys think it'll be, because I don't, I'm not an expert on this stuff.
yeah, neither am I. I think I didn't mean to even go off on a tangent. I just think that the
It's all right.
AGI
We got to talk about something, dude. It's interesting to me, but like tomorrow, fucking comet could hit the earth, and is that likely? No. Is it possible? Hell yes, it's possible. There's a bunch of floating rocks out there, and some of them are really fucking big. So like, I don't know.
What do you think about Dragon Chain? Because I did buy into Dragon Chain, but I don't know a whole
I
lot.
looked at it. I looked at
It's one of the first coins that I bought without really researching a lot. But I didn't buy a lot. I just bought a little bit to see what it was going on.
I got some buddies that bought it. They asked me to look into it for them. I looked at their website. I went through their development team. I looked at their white papers. I watched some online videos about it, because the other day I was looking for something that's under $5 that I was willing to put a couple grand into, and kind of just expand my portfolio during this time of weirdness. And I like Dragon Chain. I do, but I decided to buy Cardano instead, because I thought the possibility for a pump on Cardano was much more likely in the short term than it would be on Dragon Chain. I think Dragon Chain's a little ways off, but they got really cool ideas. I understand it's not hard to understand what they're trying to do from a technical standpoint. So it's a solid token. I don't think it's horseshit, but it has a life to it. I think it can grow.
Right.
It's got Disney behind it, so that's good. Disney's got an awful lot of money.
They do.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Cool. Any other coins you want to?
I'm trying to think what else.
Dent. I know that's something you get involved in.
I sold. I mean, that thing pumped and I sold it, so I won on that one.
Right. You never. I thought you would have bought back in lower. I didn't know what you were doing.
No, I didn't buy back in lower because I don't know
You
how
bought
low.
when I texted you and was telling you it was going up. Is when you sold it.
Yeah, I knew it got pumped. It got pumped hard. I took my profits and I got the hell out of it. There's only a couple coins that I hold, and Misi Go is one of them. LiteCoin is the other one that I currently am not selling any of my positions in. But like I said earlier in the video, that might change based off what I see right now. If I see LiteCoin pump again from the billionaire crowd, I will take some profits. And I know because they're going to keep retracting all these things back down to start the process all over again. And,
I mean, until we have some worthwhile news, until we have
I
like
have enough Litecoin right now where when it drops $40, I can increase a substantial amount of Litecoin and its return back up in value. So
right.
A lot of people might not have that much Litecoin, so it's probably not worth it to you to risk that for $150, $100, $200. You can really get smoked if you make a bad decision. I'm not a financial advisor. That is up to the individual.
Right.
If you know what you're doing, now is probably a good time to be taking profits on the upticks and then buying when it retraces, when you think there's a bottom. So
do your homework, people.
Yep.
Is there anything that you want to add before we wrap up and reconvene in a couple days?
No. Did you have any coins that you were looking at besides Dragon that you want?
Well, like I said, Pillar and AGI.
Yeah.
Polymath is something that I'm looking into. I haven't bought any Polymath, but it is a coin that I'm looking into. Nano, I don't know what all the fuss right now is all about. I know
Charlie said he liked Nano.
Yeah, I know Charlie Lee tweeted about it. It used to be ReEVox.
Yeah,
they rebranded it.
I had looked at it briefly when it was ReEVox, like back when it went through that huge pump, when it pumped from like $1 to $27, something crazy like that. I don't remember exactly, but I looked at it and was like, oh, wow, well, this thing just got majorly pumped. I'm staying the hell away from it. But then I re-looked at it again when Charlie had tweeted on Twitter about it, and it's pretty cool tech.
Yeah. I haven't looked into it. I know it's like somewhere around like $13, $14 a coin.
Yeah.
So
though I just
the Polymath project seems cool, and there's a couple other things that are in the woodworks as far as like some ICOs that I was going to possibly look into. Like there's now that the US is talking about regulation, some of these ICOs are trying to be like super compliant coming out.
Well, they're not even going to touch a lot of U.S. investors, so don't be surprised if you try to get in an ICOs and they're like, "Nope, you live in the United States. Sorry."
Yeah, no, I know, but like I said, there are companies that are working with that compliancy that apparently have and are meeting with the SEC, so that they can figure out a way.
That's why I like Salt. Salt is like every step of the way. Salt has been 2 steps ahead as far as their compliance with regulators. Not only just in the state with Colorado, but also federal regulators. Like they've got their shit together, and I think there's some other lending tokens out there that I think are far more dangerous to invest in than Salt is. So
yeah, I think Salt's probably the leader in that space right now.
They're light years ahead of the next, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, but
out of who?
I think they're light years ahead of their competition right
now. Oh yeah, most definitely.
So I
mean, they operate as close to a financialist, like under the guidelines of a financial institution as you can in this space.
Yeah, so I think they're going to be at the forefront when all this comes into play, but it's still going to take time because that damn correction, that massive correction we had really hurt, like really stunted. I think it stunted the growth and the faith and trust in everything, which it's a good thing and a bad thing. It depends on how you look at it. We had a lot of scams and a lot of shit coins. I think by the end of this year, you're going to see a lot of these coins just go away, poof, in the middle of the night.
Right.
You'll see some that are still shit be around because they raised so much money on their ICO launch that they can last for a long time with the amount of money that they sucked out of the public. But you may see governments go after them in other avenues that they have, and we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows?
Right.
But I think that's pretty much it, man. Do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about? There really hasn't been a whole lot.
No, I mean, in all honesty, man, like I told you, I've got a lot of stuff I'm dealing with. So with the markets being down for the most part, I've been just kind of laying low. I've been so enveloped in cryptocurrency since I got involved in the space. I'm kind of like distancing myself, but still kind of keeping my eye in that direction.
Yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of trading either, man. I just kind of been focusing on work and, just you got to take a break from cryptos. I've talked about this in my own personal videos in the past.
It can be so consuming, and if you let it consume you, it's going to affect how you are with other people. It's going to affect how they are. They don't want to hear it. Like some people just don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And if you believe in it, you want to push it and you want to help your friends. But they're just like,
yeah, I mean, it's like right now, like I check CoinMarketCap a couple times a day, dude. Like it's not like I first started, I was checking it like 40 times a day. Just being an idiot. And that's not healthy at all, in my opinion. I think that's it's not good for you. So and
that was the same way. We didn't have that trust in the long-term future that we do now. So, I mean, as we've gotten into the space, we started to look beyond.
When LiteCoin, here, let's put it to you like this. It's kind of a closing statement on my end. But like, if you look at LiteCoin next year, it's basically right around 1 year to the date. It's going to halve. And what does that mean? So the miner inflation rate on the coin is going to drop from 10% down to 4%. The coins, Bitcoin and Litecoin, naturally do this. What is that?
Right.
So like the amount of coins that miners will be selling back onto the market. So like what you see in
it'll limit the amount of coins that are being coming out at once.
Litecoin, actually, investors, in order to supplant miners, what the miners are mining and then putting into the markets, there has to be a certain amount of millions of dollars every day that goes into Litecoin to offset the miner inflation. So when the miners create it, they sell it because miners have to pay for things, right? They have to pay for their staffs. They have to pay for the upkeep on their computers, the cooling system. All of those, the maintenance, everything. They got their own business. They got to pay for it. Sometimes they'll mine and they'll realize, wow, the price is pretty low right now. We're going to wait until we offload it. They'll wait for a pump like we saw a week ago when it jumped up to 236. Then it was to 240, then 251, 252. And then you'll see a large portion of miners that will sell their Litecoin. So that affects price too. But when this halving comes, when it drops from 10% down to 4%, what that means is there'll be a lot less miner coins being mined that are infused into the markets. Now, traditionally, when this has occurred in the past, there is a massive jump in price naturally. And the Wall Street billionaires and professional traders and investors, they know about this. You don't see a lot of people on YouTube talking about this because this is just not something they want to talk about. It's not sexy, or they probably don't even understand it in certain aspects. But this will drive the price up. So I'm very confident if I have to hold on to Litecoin for a year and it just toils between, 200 and 275 or something, I'm okay with that. I can wait a year. Fine. So be it. But I know at that point it's going to really jump. So in the process, like we were talking about earlier, when it spikes, and they'll keep spiking it, I'll take profits. When it drops, I'll buy more. And I'll keep increasing my stack because when that halving comes, I know it's going to jump, and it'll jump quite a bit. You're talking at least all-time highs, if not $1,000 Litecoin alone on that just by itself. So,
and when are you? Because I mean, I'm aware of this, but when are you?
Litecoin
is happening.
Yeah, I can't remember what the exact web address is, but you can. It's got.
Do you remember when it's supposed to take place though?
Yeah, it's like 368 days from now or something like that.
It's right over a year.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Okay. You can go find it on the
I'll check it out. I'm just curious.
It's got a counter. It'll show you the days, hours, and seconds until the halving occurs.
Awesome.
So it's following Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already at 4%. Litecoin's, and Bitcoin really jumped when it went from 10% down to 4%. You can go back and you look at exactly the point when it happened. Bitcoin's price rose through the freaking roof. I think it was the one that made it jump to 6,000. So we'll see what happens with that. But Who knows?
Right. All right, dude. Well, I guess that's about it, man. We'll connect up again in the next couple days and figure out when we could do this again. And just want to let everybody know that we do both have our own YouTube channel. So whatever channel you're watching this on, go check out the other one's channel and like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. Because that way other people can find it in their search and it will help them along the way as well. Because again, we just try to provide value and help you guys out, share some information that's helpful for us, that might be helpful for you. So if you're watching this on the Modern Guru channel, come check out Rice Crypto. And if you're watching this on the Rice Crypto channel, check out the Modern Guru.
Yeah, and always we love to interact with any more viewers or subscribers down in the comments below.
Comment below.
I had a LiteCoin video that went postal a couple weeks back, and I kept up through like 100 comments, but then like I just couldn't keep up anymore. Like there was like 5 or 6 of them coming in, and you know.
That's awesome, though. I'm glad you had that much success in that video.
No, I know, but it's like I couldn't keep up, so I apologize for that. But like I'm only one person, I'm only human, and I have to work, so I can't sit on my phone when I'm at work and comment on YouTube. But I tried. I put a lot of responses in there, so I think I did my due diligence in that aspect.
Right. I don't think anybody can really expect you to contact everybody all at once. You know?
And as far as the trolls go, I love trolls. They're awesome. But if you're commenting on something that has absolutely nothing to do with my video, if it's not constructive criticism, I'm just not going to respond to you. Like, if you tell me that I look like an idiot because my hat is backward, like, okay, that's the way I like to wear my hat. I don't care what you think about that. But if you have something to say where I'm wrong about something, or you think that I need to address a different point of view that you have in regards to something I said, I'm all for it, man. Please do. I don't know everything by any stretch. Never said I did. I like to learn too every single day. So
awesome. Well said. All right, people, we appreciate you taking the time to watch the ReEVOlution broadcast. We've got more episodes coming soon. And again, check out our channels. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please comment down below. Thank you very much. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. It is spring training baseball. Thank God. That means winter's almost over. And my boys right here, I know we're like the redheaded stepchildren of Chicago. Everyone's a Cubs fan. There's very few of us, but I love my White Sox. I'm just so glad baseball season is here. For so many reasons. And even though I think we're still going to suck overall this year, I think we're going to be a little better. So we'll see what happens. But
awesome.
That's it. Go White Sox baseball. Fucking hodl. I love everybody out there. You guys just be smart. Protect your portfolios. And just keep up the good fight. It's tough right now, but we're going to get through this. So
I love you all. Peace, love, anarchy equals freedom.
Volunteerism. Look it up.
Have a good one.
Adios, amigo.